TOEFL Junior Testbook, Journey to the TOEFL IBT by Ebru Gungilan. Test 3. Part 1. You will hear 10 short conversations. Each conversation is followed by one question. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear the listening once.
Number 1. Listen to a math teacher giving a lecture and answer question 1.
Today, we are going to study the history of pi. As you know, pi is the name given to the ratio of the circumference of a circle, which means the distance around the circle by the diameter. How big or small a circle is doesn't make any difference. Pi always stays the same. Ancient civilizations considered that there was a fixed ratio of circumference to diameter, which was equal to the number 3. Archimedes was credited as the first person to calculate pi theoretically. In 1761, Lambert proved pi was irrational. In 1882, Lindemann proved that pi was transcendental. Mathematicians of today are still working on pi.
Question 1. We can infer from the talk that pi Number 2. Listen to a language teacher reading an excerpt from a storybook and answer question 2.
It was a cold, snowy winter afternoon. John and Mary went out to make a snowman. They made a huge one. Then they called out for their parents to show what they had done. The father liked the snowman so much and asked the kids, "Do you know when the snowman melts it leaves us a gift that lasts all year? What do you think it is?" The kids thought for a while, but couldn't find the answer. The father explained, "When spring comes, the snowman starts to melt. As it melts, the melting crystals turn into ice and then become water. The water goes deep into the ground. Then water causes the soil to get ready to grow flowers, vegetables, and fruit." So kids, do you understand what the gift is?
Question 2. According to the story, what may be the gift that snowman leaves when it melts?
Number 3. Listen to a class teacher and answer question 3.
I want to announce that the school authority and the teachers have decided to dedicate Mondays as Help a Friend Day. We believe that if you help one person at least once a week, you will understand how valuable supporting someone is. Friendships grow as much as you encourage each other. So we'd like to get your suggestions as well. The main reason why I'm making this announcement is to get your ideas on what could be done on that day and ask you to write your suggestions on a piece of paper. Your suggestions will be collected in this box and then they will be evaluated by the school authority. Any questions?
Question 3. What is the primary reason for the teacher making this announcement? Number 4. Listen to a principal talking to students and answer question 4.
Today, we are very proud to announce that one of our students in Year 8, named Roxanne Guilford, has been nominated to represent our school in the annual secondary school's mental maths competitions. As she was unanimously elected with your votes, we believe that she is going to display an excellent performance. We would like to see your support by attending the competitions.
Question 4. According to the announcement, how was Roxanne nominated to represent the school in the mental maths competitions?
Number 5. Listen to a principal making an announcement and answer question 5.
Unfortunately, due to the inclement weather conditions, the school will be closed today and tomorrow. According to the weather forecast, there will be severe thunderstorms with heavy rain all the way up the East Coast. For this reason, the former Year 12 certificate collection evening has been postponed until Friday at 5 p.m. If the weather doesn't get better, we will consider another date for the certificate collection. In that case, the school secretary will text you about the date and time.
Question 5. According to the announcement, what does the principal mean with inclement weather? Number 6. Listen to a teacher talking to a student and answer question 6.
Congratulations, Tina. You got the highest mark in the class on your report.
Thank you. I really worked hard on it.
You sure did. Have you ever considered writing for the school paper? Your writing is excellent, and your choice of vocabulary in your essays is great. You are such a gifted writer.
Thank you. Although I haven't thought about it until this moment, I think it will be a wonderful experience for me.
I'm sure it will. I also think that this experience will make your writing better. Talk to the person in charge of it and get started right away.
Question 6. Why does the teacher suggest that Tina write for the school newspaper? Which of the following reasons may not be the reason? Number 7. Listen to a teacher talking to a student and answer question 7.
Jane, I think you should get involved in our project, Animals in Danger. I've seen you working hard on campaigns and activities for endangered animals.
I'd love to, but my mother thinks I'm wasting too much time on such projects. She thinks these projects distract my attention. She says I should focus on my studies more.
Oh, come on. Projects are part of our lessons. I'd better get in touch with her.
Question 7. What will the teacher probably do next?
Number 8. Listen to a girl and answer question 8.
What John did during the exam of Mr. Harvey's lesson was unacceptable. To me, he should have been more careful while choosing his words when he was talking to the teacher. He was rude, disrespectful, and what he did was wrong. He talked to the teacher as if it was not his own fault, but the teacher's. He cheated in the exam and denied it. Even though Mr. Harvey saw him cheating, he said the teacher was blaming him for nothing in a really impolite way. I think John doesn't deserve to be in this school. This is not the only case. Everybody is fed up with his mischievous behavior. The school authority must do something about his misbehavior.
Question 8. What does the girl imply about John?
Number 9. Listen to a head teacher's announcement and answer question 9.
Now I'd like to give you some information about the bike ride that will be held during the second week of May. The participants will cycle a total of 25 kilometers. There will be 5 stops along the way so that the cyclists can rest a bit. If there are more than 30 participants, there will be another ride the following day. What you will need is your helmet and bike. You can wear shorts and a t-shirt. You don't need to wear a tracksuit. By the way, the ride will start outside the school at 9:30.
Question 9. Which of the following is not mentioned in the announcement?
Number 10. Listen to a school counselor giving some advice to a student and answer question 10.
As I was checking your grades, you received very low marks in chemistry. If you can get some bonus points, you can pull off a B or even an A. All you need to do is to get extra credit projects involving some work in the lab. I suggest that you think of an experiment that you'd like to do. You could get some chemistry books in the library to get some ideas. But check with your teacher for approval before you start the project. If your teacher doesn't consent to it, there's no use to begin.
Question 10. Why does the student need some advice?
Part 2. You'll hear a conversation between a boy and his friend. It is followed by 6 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You'll hear the listening once. Listen to a boy talking to his friend and answer questions 11 to 16.
Jennifer, after school, we're thinking of going to the new mall, the one that opened on High Street. Would you like to join us?
No, I'm afraid I can't. My sister is coming from England this afternoon.
Was she on vacation in England?
No, she was in England for education.
What is she studying there?
Her major is music. She is at the Royal Academy of Music.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah, it's one of the best universities in the world.
What about her future plans?
She wants to improve her music skills and she's thinking of doing her master's there. And guess what? She's even considering living in England afterwards. Who knows?
I wish her all the best. So are you going to spend your whole day with her?
I'll pick her up from the airport, then we'll visit our grandparents. They haven't seen her for months.
That means you'll be busy all day. Next time then.
How about tomorrow? Why don't you all come to my house? It will be nice for my sister as well. Remember the last time we were talking about universities abroad? You said that you had always wanted to study in a European country. If you come tomorrow, you can ask my sister anything you want to learn about university life in the UK.
That'll be great. I have so many questions. Even though I want to study abroad, I still wonder whether I can cope with the different culture and the new living conditions of a foreign country. What kind of difficulties would I face? How we live in America is quite different from the lifestyle in Europe.
Most Europeans think that everything is huge in America. They have more conventional and less luxurious lifestyles in Europe. The houses are smaller than ours. It may be weird to adapt to new life, but then you'll get used to it. My sister loves it. Of course, she had difficult times in the beginning, but now you see she wants to continue her future life there. She doesn't mind settling in the UK.
I guess I will have to talk to her. Okay, I'll drop by tomorrow. See you then.
Take care for now. Bye.
Question 11. What is the main purpose of Brian talking to Jennifer? Question 12. Why can't Jennifer join her friends? Question 13. Which of the following is not mentioned about Jennifer's sister? Question 14. Which of the following is true according to the conversation? Question 15. According to the conversation, what is mainly compared between America and Europe? Question 16. What does Jennifer mean by saying, "It may be weird to adapt to a new life, but then you'll get used to it"?
Part 3. You'll hear a conversation between two friends. It is followed by 6 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You'll hear the listening once. Listen to a boy talking to his friend and answer questions 17 to 22.
Why did Mr. Black want to see you in his office, Donna?
Oh, for that science fair.
What science fair? I never heard about it.
There will be a fair in April. It's an organisation held by the school board. This year will be the first year of the organisation, and the school is thinking about holding it every year in April. They have already invited 10 schools for the fair.
That's something we don't know. How come you learned such things before us?
Because I've been working in the science lab on an experiment with Mr. Black, so I learn everything.
Are you the only student who will be involved in the fair?
I'm really not sure about that because there will be more than one competition. There will be 2 kinds of competitions, one of which will include 10 groups of 3 students and the other will have individual participants.
What do you mean by that?
I mean participants will compete individually. There will be only one student from each participating school.
In which group will you participate?
I will be on my own because I have been working on an experiment for so long and Mr. Black thinks that my work is so valuable. He says it's so good that it has a chance to get the biggest prize.
There's one thing that bothers me. Why didn't Mr. Black tell us anything about this fair?
As far as I know, the students take part in this fair are picked in accordance with the projects they have been working on. Teachers choose 3 projects that they like the most, and then they present these to the commission that consists of 1 science teacher from each school. Next, the commission decides on who will take part in the competitions during the fair.
Wow, you must have done something really good then. I have to congratulate you on that and wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Question 17. What are the speakers mainly talking about? Question 18. How may James probably feel when he hears about the science fair from Donna? Question 19. According to the conversation, which of the following is not mentioned about the science fair? Question 20. Why is Donna the only student who knows about the fair? Question 21. According to the conversation, which of the following is not true? Question 22. Which of the following is true according to the conversation? Part 4. You will hear a conversation between 2 fellow students. It is followed by 6 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear the listening once. Listen to 2 fellow students and answer questions 23 to 28.
I'm so overloaded with exams and assignments. I really don't know how to handle them.
I understand. Teachers seem to be pushing us very hard these days. I'm totally occupied with loads of tasks waiting to be completed too.
Can you do any extracurricular activities?
Are you kidding me? My parents would never let me do anything but study. They don't even let me play basketball on the weekends. They just want me to focus on my studies.
Don't you think it would be relaxing and motivating to take up a new hobby or sport?
That would be great. I wish my parents would reconsider this, but they won't. Well, what about you? Are you doing anything interesting these days? Forget about school and lessons.
I'm writing articles for the school newspaper. Besides, I'm also working on the school yearbook committee.
Wow, that's a lot. That's why you feel so busy. Which of these activities keep you the most occupied?
Writing for the newspaper is not that difficult for me. I should write one article for each week, so it takes me 2 or 3 hours a week, for which I spare my weekend. But the school yearbook work is hard. The committee members gather at least 2 or 3 times a week after school, and we talk about what to include or exclude in the book. We revise students' writings and so on. It keeps us very busy.
Good luck with all that. Your schedule is really packed. You should take a break.
I guess you're right.
Question 23. What are the students mainly talking about? Question 24. According to the conversation, what cannot be inferred about extracurricular activities? Question 25. What does the girl imply about her extracurricular activities? Question 26. Her busiest extracurricular activity is... Question 27. Which of the following is true according to what she says about her activities? Question 28. What does Robert mean by saying, "Your schedule is really packed"?
Part 5. You'll hear a gemologist talking about gemstones. It is followed by 5 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You'll hear the listening once. Listen to the talk and answer questions 29 to 33.
I'd like to welcome Professor Alice Wolford, an important gemologist. She is here today to talk to us.
Hi everyone! Before starting my talk, I'd like to learn if anyone in this group has heard anything about my profession. Yes, you please.
My mother is interested in gemstones. I mean the stones, especially the precious ones that are used in jewelry. She has a collection of diamond jewelry and colored stones. She is a crazed mineral collector as well. She has specimens from all over the world, much of it self-collected. Because whenever she goes to an exotic place, she finds such places where she can collect stones. Her friend is a gemologist. Once her friend told her that some gemstones are believed to have special powers.
Yes, you're right. Let me explain in detail. Gemology is the science that deals with natural and artificial gemstone materials. So we gemologists identify, grade and certify the quality and characteristics of gemstones. Today I want to start with diamonds. Diamonds are formed deep within the earth. Extreme heat and pressure combination under the Earth's surface takes a lump of carbon and then transforms it into a diamond. Diamonds are simply carbon. As I said before, diamonds are formed deep underground, but some are found near the surface. The reason for that is that volcanic activity forces diamonds to the surface. So we can say that the places where the majority of diamonds found near the surface are volcanically active places. There may be an extinct volcano or an active volcano that is probable to erupt in a future time in such places. For instance, there might be lots of diamonds close to the surface underground here, because we live in an area that once had active volcanoes. Now let me continue with
Question 29. What do gemologists mainly study? Question 30. Some gemstones are believed to have special powers. Is similar in meaning to Question 31. Which of the following does the student not mention about his mom? Question 32. The word specimen can be replaced by Question 33. Which of the following is not true according to the professor's talk?
Part 6. You'll hear a science teacher talking to a class. It's followed by 4 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You'll hear the listening once. Listen to a science teacher talking to a class and then answer questions 34 to 37.
The solar system is made up of the sun and planets, asteroids, moons, comets, and meteoroids that orbit around it. The largest 8 objects that orbit the sun directly are the planets. The other small objects that orbit around the sun indirectly are the moons, 2 of which are larger than the smallest planet called Mercury. The solar system extends from the Sol, which is the scientific name of the sun that was named by the ancient Romans, goes past the inner planets and far beyond the heliopause. The solar system formed around 4.6 billion years ago from a giant rotating cloud of gas and dust. This is known as the solar nebula. The nebula collapsed. It spun fast and flattened into a disk. Most of the material was pulled towards the center, forming the sun, and others that are within the disk collided and stuck together, forming planets, asteroids, comets, and moons. Let's talk a bit about the inner solar system. There are 4 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are known as terrestrial or Earth-like planets. Earth has one natural satellite, which is called the Moon, and Mars has 2 moons, which are called Deimos and Phobos. In the outer solar system, the planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These are accepted to be giant worlds that have thick outer layers made of gas.
Question 34. What is the main subject of the lesson? Question 35. Which of the following is not true according to the talk? Question 36. What does the word soul stand for? Question 37. Which of the following is in the inner solar system?
Part 7. You will hear a literature teacher talking about George Orwell. It is followed by 5 questions. Choose the best answer to each question and mark the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. You will hear the listening once. Listen to a literature teacher talking about George Orwell and then answer questions 38 to 42.
George Orwell is the pen name of Eric Arthur Blair. He was a prominent English novelist, essayist, journalist, and critic. He lived between 1903 and 1950. During his short life, with his writings, he made an awareness of social injustice, and he opposed to totalitarianism. He supported democratic socialism. In his early years, he started to be interested in literature. He was the middle child of 3, but there was a gap of 5 years on either side, and he barely saw his father. His father was a civil servant. He had to live in India during George's childhood. As a result, George grew up as a lonely child. For this and many other reasons, he developed habits that other people would consider weird. He started to make up stories and talked with imaginary persons. This was the starting point of his putting down of every story that he created in his mind on paper. Orwell is best known for his 2 novels, Animal Farm and 1984. Both include political issues and have been popular since all those years when they were first published. Both novels have been turned into films as well. Animal Farm was an anti-Soviet satire. 1984 was his masterpiece. It was a work of outstanding artistry and skill in which he tried to give the readers a glimpse into what would happen if governments controlled citizens' lives. His other important essays were Shooting an Elephant, Down and Out in Paris and London. He is still read by millions of people worldwide.
Question 38. We learn from the talk that Question 39. According to the talk, he made an awareness of social injustice and he opposed Question 40. George Orwell's interest in literature started Question 41. What is one of the reasons why George developed strange habits like talking to imaginary characters? Question 42. Which of the following is wrong about George Orwell and his works?